We are live, ladies and gentlemen, once again. So we think. This is the Please Understand podcast, checking in again, weekly podcast here on Tuesday, the 11th of the month, 11th month of the 11th day. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Your one-stop shop for Minnesota sports jibber jabber, as always. Live once again on X and YouTube. Pull up a chair, mosey on in, throw us a comment, nice or mean, we don't care. We'll bring it up, throw it on the screen. Probably be pretty funny. Gentlemen, how are we feeling this eve after a big weekend of sport?
Pretty good. Besides Vikings side, but we'll get to that. Wolves looking good though, so take what we can get these days.
Yeah, I mean, only one disaster throughout the weekend. I mean, I feel like that's living right by our standards for sure. So I'm not even tripping off of that. So let's see here. We got to take care of a little bit of an administrative bull, shall we say. Everybody joining. All right. $5 cover. I mean, that's mandatory right now. Raising a lot of dough. Subscribe to the pod, also mandatory. Subscribe to Apple. Subscribe on Apple, on Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube page. What else we got? TikTok, we're out there as well. Of course, X, right? At MNPU Podcast. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We've been live quite a bit here the last couple of days. We were on the Missing Wolves podcast Sunday and Monday night, live after the game against the Kings and the Jazz. Couple of ass whoopings, I guess I would say. Last night's was a little dicey, a little weird, but got the job done. So yeah, I went on the feed with our guy Andrew Dukowitz. Follow his stuff as well, A Duke MN. On all the platforms, the Missing Wolves podcast. He's getting all the real big dogs on that podcast, right? It must have been some kind of mistake for him reaching out to us, but hey, we got on and we had some shit to say. So neither here nor there. So we'll get into all the typical stuff. I guess today, kind of the news of the day for me, the city editions came out, Prince jerseys. Or so yeah. I thought, right? These release dates. I know you got that looks like the Prince lid to the back, right?
Yeah, this is the old one. Yep.
The OG one.
Looking forward to hopefully getting another one. They got some nice merch out, it looks like.
Yeah.
Nice little, selection.
Yeah, it kind of just surprised me again, right? Like kind of like the trees, and you're like, well, see what we got here. And I went up to Dick's today actually, and thinking it would be a whole bunch of shit on sale. And, I looked at their website too, to see like, is it even posted there? Like if it is, they probably have it all stocked up. And then when I went there, there was nothing up in the, the sports section. We're talking about obviously the Woodbury branch. We got to go up the escalator or, climb the rock wall if you want. And it was still just like a bunch of the old tree stuff. I'm like, man, what a disappointment. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just buy it online.
Man, just the trees. What a disappointment it must be.
Well, and it was just kind of the scraps of what had already been picked through. I don't know that they really had done a re-up for that, because that was only I don't even know if that was even a month ago when the trees kind of went on sale. I felt like that was like mid-October or something like that. And then as I'm leaving, there was like just one little kind of rack where in like the middle of one of the aisles that had the print stuff, and it was like kid sizes. So I'm like, did these already hit the shelves and sell out completely already? Because it was like not even like youth, it was like baby size. And then they had like some hats and shit. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Is there like a whole dedicated section that I completely missed? Did another lap and like, no, it wasn't there. So I'm like, well, I got to get out of here. I mean, this is taking too long. So
I bet they probably just didn't have everything in yet. I would imagine maybe this weekend.
I know. I was like, when should I go back? Yeah. I wonder if they didn't even, if it wasn't even like fully on display yet, or who knows, but they're looking clean, man, as expected. And the ant, now it's like, God, the way Jaden's playing ball, we'll get to that here in a moment, but I don't have it. You have what's the one you have? You have like what do they call that? It's like the charcoal gray. It's basically the NBA Cup. jerseys that we're rocking to pair with our sick green court.
Yeah, the statement jerseys. Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, statement.
Those are solid.
They're pretty sick.
Sticking around.
Yeah, they've been around a little while now, actually, and they're not, they're pretty solid. They're not, like some of the city editions of yesteryear that are just like, someone threw up a box of crayons and like with a right corner of it and just like put basic Times New Roman numbers on it. I don't know what those were. I feel like cost us the season. No coincidence. I think that was the year where
that was the punch in the wall.
We had people swinging all over the place in those jerseys. No coincidence.
They were so ugly that they just had us just go right against each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of swinging and missing, I guess Vikes tough L on Sunday against Baltimore. Where do we want to kick this puppy off? I guess just main takeaways, storylines. Jake, what was kind of the main thing you're taking away from that pretty embarrassing defeat?
Yeah, it wasn't obviously JJ's best game, but still his fourth game. We're not going to hate on him too much. I feel like that was just a horrible KOC game. Once again, seems like he's been very hit and miss this year. A lot of passing for your fourth-time quarterback going out there in a game where you did not need to pass every single down. So I don't know. It's just ugly. Just I don't know what I expected, but that was way below my expectations of par for the course that round.
It's funny because I totally agree on the KOC. Again, we just can never run on 3rd and 1. I think on 3rd and 1 they went deep one time and it got picked off. So maybe the plan was to run on 4th as well. But it's like, dude, everybody sees it now. Like we know what you're going to do on 3rd and short. It's almost embarrassing at this point. The other big thing for me was just the penalties, and that goes right along with the KOC. Like what's going on here? Do the offensive linemen not have like the cadence down? It just was really, really embarrassing on that front. And I guess one positive was I did think the defense played pretty well, seeming how they were on the field. I don't know, majority of the game, it seemed like anyway.
Yeah, all things considered. What was I didn't see what the numbers ended up being, but like at some point they were like, I don't know how many plays were ran in Vikings territory. It's like they had the ball in our territory the like whole entire game, and we kept holding them to 3. I didn't think Baltimore looked very good either. I mean, we handed them that game. 8 false starts. Which one was your favorite? I have mine.
So many to choose from.
There is. Yeah. Think hard. I go for sure with the one on the quarterback. That's pretty rare. Don't often see that one. But what do you attribute that to? 8 of them. It's like, all right, this isn't just miscommunication. Like, what even is it? And have they even mentioned, but they talk about that? The staff?
It's at home too.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if they were asking the players and they're just like, I don't know. We just weren't prepared. Didn't feel it. Everybody had a couple of them. I think Aaron Jones tried to point the finger that the Baltimore Ravens defense was yelling shit, trying to make us jump off sides. And that was what made us get it. It's like, you can't tell that, man. Don't be admitting that. That just makes you look so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, come on
now. You got to own that, dude. 8 false starts at home. And you're like, it wasn't really us, the Ravens. It's like, okay, so they can just take you out of your game that easy.
That easily at home? Yeah. No, I wouldn't admit that. I'd rather just admit I'm dumb and didn't know what I was doing out there.
Is it a JJ thing? Like inexperience? Does he not have the cadence? I mean, like if he's getting one on his own, like the timing and something is definitely way off.
Multiple pieces factoring in. Yeah.
Yes. If we can get a swing in on Brandel, we're gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, it is strange because you look at, we had the rest of the offensive line, and for that to happen at home, it's, man, I don't know what else to say besides it's just embarrassing. And it falls like, yes, it's the players jumping, but all this falls back on KOC, and he's not looked sharp, and the play calling does not look good. I don't know, man. Everything just looked bad on offense. Jefferson didn't even look good. He just seemed off his game too. So it was kind of the whole thing. It's a miracle it was a 1-score game, honestly.
Yeah, it felt like such a blowout at the end, and I never really was like, hey, we're right, we got a shot. I'm like, it's just almost like, hey, we got the ball with a chance with somehow this is still a 1-possession game. And I'm like, how are we going to disgrace ourselves even further here? I wasn't like excited to get the ball. I'm like, just end this fucking madness. Do you think Jefferson, is he finally getting a little frustrated with some subpar QB play, even though it was maybe his worst game that we've seen as a Viking? But I don't know if it's boiling over into his play now finally or what.
Yeah, is it the inconsistency with just different quarterbacks, different game plans, and then maybe him even knowing like the game plan is just way too advanced for them, and he's just like, "Why are we even trying this? It's not going to work." So I don't know, man. Yeah, that was a weird game we saw from him. It just looked like he checked out after like the first drive, and he was just out there going through the motions the rest of the game.
Yeah, and how many times, especially I saw it in the second half quite a few times, he would be wide open and the ball would be sailing over his head. And you're like, I don't know if JJ needs to just calm down a little bit. Again, it's his fourth game. Like we have to give him such a long leash, but you got to make those throws, man. Like I said, 1-score game, even how crappy it was, and you miss JJ throwing it over receivers' heads how many times during that second half? I mean, that can't happen. Those are mistakes that can't happen. You're not going to win football games that way.
He was either airmailing the ball or it was getting batted at the line about 14 times. It's like, what is going on in this game? And then a false start. It was like one of those three outcomes felt like it was happening on almost every play. And or the fourth one would then be an absolute dot to Jalen Naylor. No one else.
Yeah.
So, like there was some weird positives throughout that. Maybe we can use that to maybe just talk a little more about like JJ. I mean, fourth game, like you said, it's not like it's all bad. Like he'll throw some great passes as well. Like I think that first drive to Naylor, that was a great ball. The touchdown was a pretty good one as well. And he had a few to Jefferson that were nice. That the one that he dropped, I mean, that was a tough play. The guy kind of got his hand in there too as well. So I don't know if they even, ruled that as a drop, but like that was a pretty good throw. So it's not like he's got nothing, but it shouldn't really be that big of a surprise to see him inconsistent in his fourth game, in a big spot against Baltimore. But I think, what we're kind of getting at, and I think most of the Vikes community, on X, wherever, we think we have this roster where it's like, what, all we need is the quarterback. And it's like, well, is that the case? And everybody has winning expectations to go along with that. And here we are now in 2 of the last 3 weeks. You could almost file these as like 2 of the worst games under the KOC era. When you look at that Chargers game and what happened against Baltimore, I mean, they were getting clowned online by pretty much everyone in the NFL of like 8 false starts at home, these turnovers. I think you commented, Phil, and maybe Jake, you as well, in the group chat on like the Miles Price. That was bound to happen. He was too good for that not to come back and have a couple bad two in a row, I think, wasn't it? And one of them was a double. We had another guy fumble the same play. And we got
the turnover battle. That was just, it seemed like as soon as you would get even the ball back, we're turning it over again. Very, very frustrating. And especially coming off such a nice win in Detroit, to follow it up with that type of a performance, it's just frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I feel like KOC saw that game last week and he was like, all right, I dialed it back 1%. Now we're going back to 100%, my rocket science offense. And I don't care who thinks we can't do it. This is the only thing we're going to do because this is winning football. But he just doesn't have the QB to run it, and it sucks. Speaking of running it, run the damn ball too, buddy. Like that would probably help. Not throwing 42 times JJ had to throw in a 1-score game most of the game, or when we were winning. So I don't know. I feel like it's just he does this things where he just has to have it his way, and he's just very stubborn and not going to change it. And it's like even JJ running the ball, I feel like they made him like stay in the pocket, try and make the play develop a little more before like his 3-step drop, and then maybe bail and run, which is something that he does good, and it's something you need to utilize right now, especially being a young quarterback. So I don't know. It's just mind-boggling to see this opening like glaring problems that are happening on the offense. We're just dudes sitting on the couch. You got some dude making millions to run the team, and it's just like, brother, what are you doing out here, man?
Are you in the try one time to run it on 3rd and short? Just one time.
See what happens.
Begging you.
Give it
Just
a shot.
begging you.
It might.
They
it might
threw the
just work.
stats out. I got a couple of it. When it's 3rd and 4th down and we have 2 or less to go, we're 4 and 19 converting them, throwing a pass, and we're 10 and 14 on the run. So like the stats are even there, man. It's just they have to have these too. We're not the only people with Twitter in the universe that just sees what's working and what's not working. So I don't know. It's just that's the frustrating part to me. It's just like once again we have a Minnesota team, decent skill, and it's just all the easy little shit, the fundamentals that we're just fucking up on and losing games and week after week. It's just I hate it.
Aaron Jones, 9 for 47, 5.2 a pop. Jordan Mason, 4 for 25, 6.3. So it's not like when you did it, you were not having success at it, right? Like it just turned into air it out for some reason. It's like, dude, this is what you should be doing with a rookie quarterback or second-year quarterback.
No,
Careful
easy.
now.
You casual.
We know our guy out there on TikTok. He'll be correcting that.
Where's
Hopefully,
he at, man?
he's
Come in here and
logging in.
comment.
Yeah,
You're one of the
man.
few people listening right now.
You
Come
know
on
that
in
dude
and
will chime in. And McCarthy had 5 for 48. So, and then one time he didn't run. He decided, you know what? I got a perfect lane here. Let me just throw up a punt, and it was a pick on I think 3rd and like 6 or 7. But yeah, 42 pass attempts, and it wasn't like we were down 17 and had to chase the whole way. It was we were holding them to 3 pretty much every drive initially for the Ravens. So it's like you didn't need to abandon the run by any means, but they did. So I don't know. Do you think? I mean, seems like there's some momentum now for him to relinquish play calling duties, KOC that is. Maybe get Josh McCown a crack at it if it's a situation where KOC, does he have too much on his plate? We saw Dan Campbell do kind of the reverse of that.
do the opposite.
Take the wheel.
And they look great too.
Yeah, against the shitty Commanders. But Ravens defense isn't very good either. At least most of this season, right? They're not a soul on that injury report by the time they visited US Bank, by the way. How about that? Who could have seen that coming?
No.
But what do you think? KOC, does he need to get the hook for a little while, or?
I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't hurt, especially with McCown. He's the guy who probably knows JJ the best right now and what his abilities are and what he can do and can't do. So I don't feel like it can get any worse with the play calling. So why not give it a shot?
The problem is just how big is his ego, because that's
huge.
It's almost admitting failure to give that up. Like that's the toughest part. If his ego can't handle it, like that's just gonna be what it's gonna be the entire time he's here, and he's just gonna be calling the plays. So that's a tough. There's not really anybody above him that's gonna tell him to switch it out. So it all goes down to him.
Yeah, and it's nothing bad on him either. Too, it's just you just don't have the pieces. He's trying to play chess, and we're just got a checkerboard sitting out here, and it's like, brother, we can't, man. Come on, like just play with what you have, use what you have.
Take the double jump. It's right
and
there.
it's not like he doesn't have say. Being the head coach, he's got the headphones on. He's hearing everything. It's not like at some point he can't be like, hey, let's just change it up for this one play or whatever. But yeah, there might just be too much on his plate right now.
And you can't shoot yourself in the foot like that. And the play means fumbles are going to happen. That shit's going to happen, I guess. But to have so many 3rd and shorts and just continue to just be throwing it downfield with JJ as your quarterback, you gotta be able to, alter your style a little bit, right? And that's the ego thing. It's tough for him, I'm sure, because that's what he's known for. You're the QB whisperer. And now people are saying, dude, give up the menu to somebody else. Give the play sheet to McCown and see what it looks like. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean forever. Maybe you do it and it works this year, and next year you're back calling plays again with a little more experience for JJ. And maybe it is the rookie thing, right? Because even the QBs we've had in here in the KOC era, they've all had some experience under their belt, not necessarily the cream of the crop by any stretch, but like it wasn't a, first, second, third, fourth career game that we're seeing with JJ. And it just seems like he's trying to teach a student like calculus who's learning the multiplication table still. It's like, dude,
Yeah,
you just
learn
can't really
shapes, man.
can't be doing that, dog. We got shapes over here. So I guess going forward now, right? Like it's just been kind of every other back and forth. We've got Chicago who 6-3, man. What a legitimate 6-3 that looks like. Coming
we're
into
catching
town.
the Bears on a perfect time too, because they're all high and mighty right now. They're starting to eke back out on the social medias and talk some shit. That's usually right when they get kicked right in the mouth and go right back down in the cellar and hibernate
what'd
the
you
rest of
say?
the winter.
What'd you say? 6-3, and the last 2 games, like very well could have been L's. They were
Ain't beat nobody either.
late comebacks. Right.
Congratulations to the Bears on a nice run that they're on here against the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Commanders, the Saints, lost to the Ravens, Bengals, Giants. Murderers row. Good job, guys.
Ooh.
So I mean, this is just fraud city coming in here. And you're right. I agree with what you guys both said of like, if high and mighty off of all that. I know, look, the NFL, nobody seems to really be good. And there's a bunch of shitty teams getting wins every week. So picking up wins when you're supposed to isn't as easy maybe as we think it might be. Just, shout out Buffalo, the parlay ruiners, just getting their asses destroyed by Miami.
Your boys. Well, don't ever pick against Miami. That's on you.
My betting is like this alternate universe where the Dolphins are looking to clinch the AFC East at 2-0 against me. And the Bills are winless. So it's like, what the fuck's going on here? But so yeah, congratulations for winning games you should have. The Giants just handed you a game. Jackson Dart got concussed, which I don't think anybody's too surprised to see that. I guess only one time he was concussed, or only once to the blue tent. So that's impressive. And then the same thing with the Bengals. Like both of those games, like could have easily been losses for the Bears. So I'm not really, too impressed with anything they've done. Noon game. We historically have played some pretty ugly games with Chicago. But man, I know our expectations have kind of flipped around throughout this season. Injuries, quarterback issues, name whatever you want, but this would be a real nice one to get. And 2-0 in the division. Those are the 2 McCarthy wins, right? So we're still just trying to continue to build this guy's, resume out. 4 games, dude. Like there's been good, there's been bad. You just try to minimize the bad and continue to get better as a quarterback. But like we've been saying pretty much this whole pod, like you got to help him out. Jefferson's not really helping him out. KOC's not helping him out. Defense kind of did a little bit, but Hoganson's out there playing basically offensive line. Can he play center? I don't know.
Might be able to. It would be nice, obviously, to beat a divisional opponent, but I would like to see JJ have a nice game at home. The 2 games that he's won have been on the road. The Chicago one obviously was first week of the season, late comeback. Detroit, pretty good game overall, but it would be nice to just see him string a few quarters together and especially get the home crowd going. And you know how much I love the Bears, so I'd like to just put an ass whooping on them. So here's to hoping.
Last thing I want to bring up, unless you guys have anything else, I meant to say it earlier, but of course didn't. The scripted plays versus non-scripted, right? And we don't really know what's what, but there seems to be quite a big difference going on here, even before the JJ era. Like, I feel like that was an issue pretty much throughout the whole KOC era. And that's one of the reasons we always would play 1-score games. We would always start pretty hot, and then the offense either would be too conservative or maybe it is the off script type of stuff is just not as effective. And we would always kind of have teams coming back. Next thing you know, it's like, shit, we're in a 1-score game trying to, pick up a first down to run the clock out or something like that. And now we're definitely seeing that, I feel like with JJ, because we came out of the gates hot again. And then it was just like, okay, now what? The rest of the game was quite a different story. So what do you make of that, Jake?
I know. Yeah, it's super weird that the scripted plays can work so well and the rest of your offense is just very mid and dusty. But I don't know. It's just, obviously you can't script the entire game because you have no idea how it's going to go after the start. But maybe we just like run those first drives back and start the second half. I don't think anybody's going to notice. Might as well just try at least one game before people catch on. Let's see what happens.
Try something.
Yeah.
It just stands out. I feel like people are noticing that. But again, the play calling, right? Is he the offensive savant KOC that we all hope he is? Or does he just not have as much to work with? It's probably like usual. It's a combination of a lot of different things. But, this Bears defense isn't anything special either. So, but you could have said the same about the Ravens and the Lions kind of too. And it just stalled. The shit just stalled as the game progressed. So it's kind of disappointing to see. But yeah, you're right. And if about the home JJ McCarthy, it's like, of course he can't win at home. Nothing ever goes right for us at our home,
Right.
home court, home field, whatever. So, but yeah, Bears coming to town, noon game. Caleb riding high. I like us. I feel like we can get that as a underdog W.
Next 2 divisional games at home, Bears and Swine. Couple overachievers, I would say.
Frauds.
Everybody's a fraud. Except maybe like the Titans. We know who they are. And the Browns, who lost to the Jets. Jets defense. Hopefully nobody had to face. Like, you can't imagine that anyone would have picked them up in fantasy and started them against you. I mean, that would have been super, super cruel and unusual. I'm just looking real quick here at the standings. It would take. We're 10th here at 4-5. I mean, you'd have to really just see some sort of like turnaround and resurgence from JJ to finish the year, just like going out like gangbusters and get this offense going. I think the defense, I think we were hoping maybe to start this season like this. Maybe this could be the number 1 defense, and it just isn't that. I think there's some holes in the back end, and I don't know that the front seven's as good as we hoped. Still pretty solid, and like you said, they were on the field a lot. They did about as good as they could have, all things considered, against Baltimore. But right now, Swine are in the 7th seed, 5-3-1. Niners 6-4. We know their schedule is just nothing, right? They're going to rack up a bunch of ugly wins. So it's like, and Chicago 6-3. They've already kind of done their homework against the easy team. So they've got a nice cushion before the back half of the season. So it's like, what record you got to be to get in the playoffs? 10-7 potentially. So 6-2 finish. I mean, seems like
if you
tough
want
road to hoe.
If you want any prayer of sneaking into that last wild card spot, the next 2 games are absolutely critical because those are gettable games. So we'll see. I'm not getting my hopes up on a playoff run, but you just want to keep seeing JJ develop, and like we said all along, that's the goal of the season. Hopefully a couple more home games in a row. Let's get this thing offense turned around anyway.
Yep. Turning around the offense like these T-Wolves did. Until we went on the pod with Andrew on Sunday night, praising how good the shooting's been throughout the first 10 games. And then they come out in the back-to-back against the Jazz last night, and it was just Clank City the first half. And I'm like, of course, right? That's the impact we have as soon as we say something. But they got it going again. And Ant in that third quarter really stepped up with a 20-plus piece in that quarter. And then Jaden in the fourth quarter, right? He was struggling. He was the guy we were talking about for a lot of that pod too, Jake. And like, the shooting numbers are going to regress a little bit. I mean, I think he came into the game shooting 54% from 3, like that second in the league. I think like that's not going to, stay that way throughout the end of the season. But, he found it in the fourth quarter, right? And it's like we're seeing a different player. This is what we were talking about the other day. Like, what are you seeing with McDaniels, Jake? And then like, if this is the guy we're getting, what does that change your opinion of our ceiling? When you're talking playoffs and how far they can go.
Absolutely, it does. Playing at his level, we're talking with Andrew that he could be on like an all-star level kind of season right now that he's playing at. And it's nice because he's made more threes this season, but he's shot like 20 or 30 like less threes. So it's just amazing to have that. He's taking good threes now and he's actually making them, which has been a huge part of his game. And then I think Dane Moore's calling it the giraffe floater, baby giraffe floater, with the way he gets in the paint and just throws up a little floater in the middle there. Looks like a baby giraffe, but that shot's been working real nice too, man. So we don't even need him averaging like 20 plus a game. Give us that 15. He's getting some boards in there, getting some assists, getting Rudy worked in. So I don't know, this leap that he's taken, man, it's beautiful and it's nice because we have a nice little big three going with him, Jules, and Ant right now. And I feel like those three together could really make a deep playoff run if they keep staying as hot as they are.
Yeah. To go off that too, I like that he's not hesitating. Like when it's his time, he's going. He's not waiting for the extra man to come over. He's like some of those threes he's just taken. Top half of the circle there. He's driving when he needs to. And I think the biggest thing last night is he struggled for a lot of the game. A lot of shots in the paint that he normally hits weren't going down for him. And come fourth quarter, Utah started making a little bit of a run. Yes, they're a professional team. You're not going to beat them by 40 twice in 4 days. They're still a professional basketball team. But the way he kind of took over and just was like, all right, I'm taking this game without Julius and Ant were both on the bench. 12 in the fourth quarter, and it was everything. It was threes and one layup. He had a nasty dunk kind of to cap it off, and that was just great to see. Great to see him just kind of take over that game.
Yeah, and Finch, I think, is giving him the keys a little bit more too. We saw it didn't work in the second quarter. There was a stretch where he's kind of becoming the number one, and they're kind of letting him and Nas be the focal points of the offense to start that second quarter. And it did not work last night. And some of it was shots just weren't falling. Like Dante was getting good looks. I think he went 1 for 8 from 3. So they're generating pretty solid looks. And, I just look at the fact that, you, like you were saying, it's like, oh, he's struggling. Is it going to be one of those nights where it's like, oh, Jaden just wasn't in the mix tonight and, disappeared again. And it's like, no, man, he found it in that fourth quarter. And that's what we're just looking for, that consistency out of him. And he's been doing it so far this year. And we just got to start seeing it against, the tougher competition, which our schedule just hasn't really given us many opportunities for that. And we've lost like every one of them so far. 2 to the Lakers, 1 to the Nugs. And then what was the other one? Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like overall, I think we're just with the offense generating good quality looks, right? He seems to be getting to certain spots that he's comfortable with, like seeing him have a few signature moves. Like you said, the giraffe floater, like this decel in the lane as a guy that's 6'10" is just really difficult to handle. And they're trying to play faster too. And he's really good in transition. He had a nice like finger roll or layup, I think, whatever you want to call it. Not sure who it was against, like Nurkic or somebody in transition. And you're like, man, like this guy really would benefit from playing faster. Right. So I think there's a lot of ways that he's able to impact the game, and he's guarding the other team's best player the whole time. So he's been doing a much better job staying out of foul trouble. There's been a couple games where, he's racked up a few at the end, but it wasn't, a clutch time situation or anything like that. So I think we're all just like, okay, like just keep it going. Don't just have like 1 good month or 2 good months. Like this is the version we hope to see from him, this season and going forward. And, we saw it second half of last year too.
Yep.
Like once Julius was out, it was kind of like, hey man, you gotta step up and fill that void. And he did a nice job of that until Julius returned. And then once we had everybody, all hands on deck, they hit hit their stride to finish the season and carried that momentum through the playoffs, beating a bunch of like shitty teams again. But yeah,
hey,
man.
ESPN wouldn't say that. Okay.
Everybody picked the Lakers, of course.
You take it easy.
Yeah, they know what they're doing over there. But yeah, 12.7 shots a game, for him, I think is pretty good. You've got those other 2 guys that are just such high usage guys. We've seen some stats come out circulating around X of like the isolation numbers with Ant and Julius. and how good they are, right? We saw it last night. I mean, things are firing in all cylinders, but it's like, dude, let's see what it looks like against Denver on Saturday, which of course,
Yeah,
back
good team. Yeah.
right.
I- On that note, though, I do like that they are beating up on these bad teams. I know last night's, I think it ended up being a 7-point game. It really was. It was a double digit for most of that fourth quarter. Jazz were kind of fighting back a little bit, but like in the past 4 games before that, they were beating teams by an average of 25 a game. And it's kind of just nice to see them early on just taking care of business against these teams, put them away early, move on. That the first night of that back-to-back, you saw most of the guys getting to rest, not letting them linger. So that's good. The defense has been better. The ball movement's been better. And hey, everybody's got to play the bad teams. So if you can get everything kind of in stride before you play those good teams, I still think that's a big deal. You get the momentum going. Hopefully that carries into the matchups against these upper echelon teams. And even that Lakers, like we're 7-4, but I mean, I know it was a bad game, but you're an Austin Reeves buzzer beater away from being 8-3, and you're just like, hey, that's a pretty good start to the season either way.
Yeah, and the Laravia bullshit. What was he,
I
10 for
know.
12? Like, get the fuck out of here. But to your point, like taking care of business against Sacramento allowed them to play guys higher minutes. They played some high 30s minutes in that back-to-back. It's like, well, you can do that if you take care of business. And they've always kind of had it opposite where it's like, let's coast, and then, we'll see what we can do in the last, quarter or whatever to try to, pull out a win, which is what they did against the Lakers. Like that last 6 minutes, it's like, oh, now you guys are going to try. Well, if you want to be lazy, do it at the end. Give them the fucking belt early on and then kick your feet up at the end. Because when you come out and chill, now you've got a Jake LaRavia finding some rhythm, and now he's a problem to have to fucking deal with the rest of the game. So it's like, just go for the throat right away. And I think we're starting to see more and more of it. But Jake, I want to bring in some talk about your boy Rudy and the defense, because that was the talking point for a lot of the time, last week, really, coming off of that Knicks loss. The rebounding, the defense with Rudy off the court. What are you? What's your level of panic around that? Are you thinking it's fixable? Is it effort? Where are you? What's your read at on the defense and Rudy?
It's tough. It really comes down to Rudy's fine on the court. Get him started early, especially on the offensive side. That's always going to help his defensive side. But it's just those minutes when Rudy's off the court, our defense is bottom of the league, and that's where we got to work and really improve on that side. So I don't know what Finchie's got planned to fix that, or if he's probably just going to be stubborn and just wait at least a month, just trying to figure out the same process over and over again like he usually does. But then that just comes down to Nas. Nas has to be the guy out there. He has to be the defender in the paint. He has to be blocking shots, which he's starting to pick it up a little bit, but we need much more out of him on that side of the court because we are just getting abused in the non-Rudy minutes down there.
Yeah, and he's the number one guy off your bench too. I think when Rudy's not in, it's weird to say, but it's almost like if Rudy's not in, you have to have Jalen Clark in because you have to have ball pressure up front. So you're not allowing them to get in the paint. And that's where you really got to take advantage of trying to get steals, just keep the pressure on the ball. And you were mentioning Rudy. I don't know if he had like a personal vendetta against LaMelo Ball or if it was coming off that Austin Reeves floater that he got a lot of heat for. But all of a sudden his blocking ability is he's trying to block shots now. You can tell, and we've seen it for this is his 4th year here. We've seen times where he's not jumping at these. And I don't know if that's his lack of trust for somebody else grabbing a rebound or whatnot. Because Jaden used to be not a great rebounder at all. Now he's stepped it up. Ant stepped it up. Julius can board a little bit too. So all of a sudden he's trying to block shots. And I mean, you saw it in that Kings game. Blocks the first shot and goes coast to coast. And it's just exactly what Jake said. Get him rolling early. He had 6 quick points last night too. If you get him going early, the defense levels up. And I think Ant as well. Like if he is engaged and really putting out an effort on defense, the whole thing changes. You're a top 5 defense again.
Yeah, I saw some like on-off stuff, or not on-off, but it was like net rating stuff of like the Julius and Nas combo with Clark and Jaden was actually positive. So it's like if we're gonna have potentially some weakness in the paint and on the glass, let's get the perimeter tightened up at least to try to have some strengths out there to some degree. And I think some of that was just Nas getting out of the gates really slow. Like you said, Jake, he's had some good plays. That cup game, like it's sometimes it's just when it rains, it pours. Like he comes over and makes a great help side block and then gets like a knee into the midsection or possible family jewels. And the Sirs call a foul on it, right? And then we challenged it, and we did win the challenge. But it's like, man, even when he makes a great help play, he's paying for it. So I think his timing's just been off, and just little things getting back into the swing of things after dealing with a lot of personal shit leading into the season. But yeah, like from a defensive standpoint, I mean, that Knicks game was a clear case of just like, you guys got to fucking play a little harder, man. Yeah. Can't be letting Miles McBride dribble 94 feet just right for a layup. That kind of shit just isn't going to fly. And I think they know it. And you can see it, like you said, with Rudy's play. I think sometimes he is trying to guard two guys at once. And like, am I protecting a lob here? Do I need to go over and block it? Is anyone going to cover up for me on the backside as bad as we are at rebounding? But yeah, I think he was kind of coasting his way through some of the first games of the season, but they definitely looked like they were flipping a switch once it came time for the high stakes NBA Cup matchup. I mean, that was a fucking crazy start to that game, just a first round knockout. And you could just see it, they were embarrassed by that performance against the Knicks, and unfortunately the margin of victory was so large that it's like, we're probably going to have to lose twice to not advance, at least as like the wild card team. Cause what are the other, we have Sacramento, I think Friday at home.
Yep.
Cup play. Yep. Big cup game. Green court.
Huge.
And then Phoenix, I think is in our
following Friday
pool, and the Thunder is the team that they're the other big time squad. But Phoenix just had Jalen Green. He just came back and already hurt his hamstring. So they were being a little friskier than I think people anticipated, but now he's already out again. So maybe we'll lose to the Thunder, right? That's going to be the must see. Tune into that one, right? That's
day before Thanksgiving, right?
It's Wednesday.
That cup. Yep.
Yeah, so that must be it. Yeah. Cup play right into the holidays, man. Holy, what kind of weekend that's going to be. I don't want to win this cup at all. The quotes coming out of that were pretty hilarious after we did get the win, but point differential is huge unless we get just waxed by the Thunder or something like that. Like maybe that knocks us back down again, but I don't know, man. It's probably so. What is it? Then it goes to before you go to Vegas, you would then host or you would play. There's games that are still at teams' arenas, so you get to the Final Four. I think even no one knows.
Nobody knows.
I know about as much about cup play as Ant does. So he doesn't seem to care at all.
Get a little wire transfer going on. That was so funny to see that quote. Oh man. We got to talk a little bit about Ant here before we move on, but that third quarter last night, that's the stuff of we've always talked about Ant every year, what's he adding to his game? What's he adding to his game? And they were pushing this the mid-range, back to the basket, the post-up stuff. It's well, why do we have to do that just because we lost to the Thunder and the offense was weird? Didn't we hate mid-range twos? We were talking about that a few weeks ago, and it seemed like maybe he was testing some of that out earlier in the season. It's now he's back to just launching threes. But to me, it's just kind of more of the understanding of the moment where it's you know what, enough of this nonsense against the Jazz last night. We're not losing this game. Whatever back-to-back hangover we had, put that by the wayside. I'm going to just go kill these dudes for the next 24 minutes. And that's what he did, on both ends of the court too. So
yes,
just a little bit more leadership, stuff like that. Kind can we round in the basketball IQ into that too? You're hoping for that. And then he like threw like a lob last night. Did you see that play at the end where it was like the Jazz like must have just hit a 3 that was getting to like cut it to 7, and then he's bringing it up or something, tries to lob it to Rudy, hits the rim.
Oh, yeah.
They could have then came back. They did shoot a 3 and missed, but
Right.
Finch over on the side, like when you saw him lob that, he's just like, what the, like, why would you do that? You know, you just run it out. They'll foul you. Like, what are you doing? Pretty inconsequential, but like just little things like that, you know. So that to me is one thing, just the sense of the moment. I think I'm noticing that a little bit more.
I thought like the level up for him is kind of what we've been looking for. And what's funny about that is you want it to start against the bad teams just because of, we kind of sleepwalk, you know, in the past through some of these games. And that third quarter, we did a little bit in the second quarter, and it was kind of weird. First half down 2 or 4 or whatever at halftime. And him and Julius just came out on a mission in that third quarter. I think they had like 32 combined points, just the two of them. And you could just see the intensity, both of them just yelling at each other. Ant like dove on the floor for a ball that was kind of weird and didn't go out off him, but hey, we'll take it. That was awesome to see, just that intensity. Be like, okay, like you said, put this team away, quit goofing off, and do it before the fourth quarter before it really gets weird.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, 'cause we lose that game probably last season or the season even before that. Some of these shittier teams, that's just what we did. Then we talk in the post game about, oh yeah, we probably should have played a little harder. We didn't bring everything. And they're like, okay, maybe they'll think about that next game. And then 82 games later, they sure as hell didn't. But now it's like, okay, that was nice seeing a little bit of growth and maturity in this team for a little bit here. So hopefully this wasn't just a one-off thing.
Yeah, and I hope we just, you know, the numbers are going to come down, especially from 3-point. I'm just looking at everybody's 3-point percentage. Ant's at 50, Julius is at 40, Jaden 53.8, Dante 37.6. I feel like that's probably where he'll be, maybe a little higher. But I mean, he's chucking them. That's what we want from him, right? Like when we got him last year, it was like you thought he could do more after seeing some of the stuff from the playoff run with the Knicks. And then you're kind of like, you know what, man, he's kind of a catch and shoot dude. It's like, well, okay, for $10 million, like he's still a pretty damn good like bench player. And now we've got him in the starting lineup. It's like, you want to be a catch and shoot guy? Well, get him up there, you know. And I feel like he's been doing that and doing it. You know, he's shooting them with confidence too, and dealing with I don't know how many masks he's gone through now. Like every game he gets hit in the face too, and knocks his shit right off. And you're like, God damn. And he's still shooting at a pretty good percentage, but he's at 37. Mike Conley finally missed one last night. Like he's been just money. I feel like
75%.
Jalen Clark's at 40. So like those will come down, but like don't come all the way down. Like, you know, Warriors series to 0 that one game. And you're like, dude, these guys are too good of shooters. But you know, on the other hand, you got Nas at 32, right? Like he'll shoot better. And last night, the offense, you know, for the most part, I feel like, you know, we've been seeing those good isolation numbers for Ant and Julius, but I feel like everybody's been taking good quality looks until kind of that second quarter. And you could maybe even say some of that first quarter last night. It was a little more of like your turn, my turn. Like, hey, I need to get one up. You know, Nas took a corner 3 real quick and airballed it. Jalen Clark took a quick corner 3, and you're like, all right, guys, let's get kind of back into what we've been doing. But the quality of looks is really good. The ball's moving. You know, that dunk that Jaden had, that was the big highlight. I mean, that was sick, but like that one-handed pass from Ant too. Like I think his passing, I mean, there's obviously room for improvement. He's had a few real bad ones, like kind of right when he came back from the injury, but you can kind of see like, all right, you know, like let's add that to the arsenal as well. Cause you know, you watch, especially like that third quarter when he was really getting going, and then you just start looking at their defense. It looks like they're playing zone. The whole team is loading up on him so heavy because you have to, or he'll just kill you. So like just being able to be a little bit better with passing. And that's where Julius is really helping out too. His ability to facilitate for everybody else is just unlocking a lot of things for this team. And, you know, I thought we'd have a good team and a good season, of course. And I didn't think we'd be just like cooking on offense. But maybe that could just be a product of the schedule. We're going to see. But even Denver, though, they're not a good defensive team. So it's like, when are we going to really get tested on that side? We'll have to wait and see.
OKC,
Portland, maybe
probably.
we did.
When OKC just hacks the living shit out of us. And,
yeah. When they get away with everything all night.
Yeah, so we've got the nice little Utah Sacramento sandwich going on here, and then Friday cup play, where I think we were talking about this with Andrew the other night. This Kings Wolves, nobody wins at home, and you got cup play, factoring in. I mean, that's going to be hotly contested, and when you just play a team. Sometimes you see those, like, you just play them back to back, right? Like 2 times in like 3 days. That second one's always a grind. So I feel like these Kings are they've been getting kind of embarrassed, and, look up to your front office for assembling this random crew.
Weird team.
2010s guys. It's like, I don't know. I don't know why you're doing that. Do you guys want to tank, or are you just doing it anyway? Not even trying. So you got Denver Saturday, and then it's like Dallas. They're just on fire. They just finally fired Nico Harrison today. It's like, took you that long? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Followed by the Wizards, Suns, Kings, and then that'll be the next one probably. OKC, right into a shitty Thanksgiving probably. 6:30 on ESPN on the road. I don't know. I haven't really been following if Jalen Williams is going to be back or not yet, but either way, I mean, they're still pretty solid defensively. Dort's been out as well, so I don't know if he'll be around.
Everybody will be missing him.
Glue guy. Yeah, you hate to see him, hack all night and play 2 overtimes and end up with 3 fouls. That's tough to see.
Yeah.
All right. Any other last Wolves stuff? I mean, we might be needing to get some cup tickets in Vegas, Jake. Start saving up.
Tickets now. Might be a good time.
Hopefully we get put in the local Vegas like 2:45 time slot in the afternoon.
Oh,
nice little matinee.
Love that scheduling for the NBA. Way to go, Silver. Fucking dipshit. All right, gang. Shout outs. Anybody got any? Let's shout a few things out and hit the road.
You kind of just stole one from me, but shout out Nico Harrison. It is about time. My God, I can't believe he hung on as long as he did, and maybe you can just go live your life a little bit now, bud. Because
did you see?
I don't know if the hate mail is going to keep coming in, but
Shams reported that he's about to get fired in this meeting coming up in like 15 minutes. It hadn't even happened yet, and there's all sorts. The bar
alerts on, so he didn't have to go to the stupid meeting.
They're all like, email. Why would you go to this meeting once this is out? Like, get out of there. I think that was the thing they did on Seinfeld, Costanza, or maybe it was some other show where it's like, if they can't find me, if I'm not around, can they fire me if I just avoid them for the longest time? But you would almost think he wants out of there, dude. Every home game, just getting booed and fire Nico, all this shit, and he got bailed out with the lottery. And it's still a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah. Shout out to him though. Go take a vacation or something.
Well earned.
You think the Lakers are going to hire him?
Well, hey, according to everybody on X today, Anthony Davis is going to be heading back to the Lakers anytime now. So
for Jackson Hayes and cash considerations.
Yeah, probably for nothing. The Lakers never have to. They don't worry about salary cap ramifications. So.
Those were pissing me off. I know we talked about that last night with Andrew, just quickly about the Ja stuff. We're like, yeah, it'll probably take Jaden. And it's that's a quick hang up. And there was some article today about Jaden and, we're giving up 3 guys with Jaden. It's dude, what is this article?
Mike, I believe.
What's this nonsense?
Lazy. It's just lazy.
That guy's awful, by the way. Everything he writes is you can clearly tell he does not follow the Wolves at all. And then he'll just kind of swoop in when it's article time and just do that most half-ass shit you've ever seen. And and he's getting dragged for it, as he should.
Good.
Jake, you got any shout outs?
Shout out to Minnesota sports fans on X on the who's going to get fired coach of the week. This week was KOC, last week was Finch. So I just shout out to them, just jumping back and forth, flip-flopping. You guys are real smart, real high IQ showing out there. Just proud of y'all for still fighting the good fight.
Do we want to consider Derek Shelton already as the next one?
Who's gonna be next
Who?
week? We'll just have to wait and see who loses at the first chance they get. They'll jump right down their throat. So we'll just wait and watch, I guess.
Yeah, he would have to really get in a scandal to get fired next week. We've got Elite Goku saying "Ja to the Wolves?" ? We talked about that last week. That's going to be a no for me, dog. I just think if Jaden's in it, hang up the phone. Like, especially this was even before probably the version we're seeing of him this year. And now that he's, on the rise up, I'm like, nah, dude. The thing, when you're looking at measuring yourself up with OKC, what they have, I think obviously they have 1 million picks, they've drafted well, but like they have two-way players, right? And that to me is what makes Jaden just so valuable. Yep. Now that we're getting the offensive part of this, to me, that's where it's like, nah, and he's on a good contract too. Like Ja Morant, I think he's in like closing in on like maybe the 50 million, or 45, 50 million in salary. So it's like, you kind of got to gut your team a little bit. And, second apron world we're living in, like one of the themes you saw last year was like two of the deepest teams made the finals, the Pacers and the Thunder. So it's like, if you want to gut your team to get Ja in here and not even really know if it's even going to work or if he's going to even give a shit, is he going to be happy? Is he going to be pissed in 2 months being, the second, star on the team? Like we kind of like think back to the Warriors, right? They go and get KD, different situation, better players. But then in 2 years, he's already like, you know what? I'm not even really happy here. Like, what is that? This is always going to be Steph Curry's city. So I just, it's fun to talk about trades and stuff like that, but I don't think it makes sense. I think we're going to stay the course with this team until, the trade deadline, I would think. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think if anything, we just be making a small move, get a little point guard in here, just somebody who can handle the ball. If it ends up Rob's not going to be the guy, but he's making strides every night. He gets more minutes. The last couple of games, he's just been getting the Joe Ingles honorary 4 minutes, but hopefully
somewhere.
Finch opens that up a little bit, but
yeah.
I don't know. We're still not giving up on him. Still early in the season for him too. It's not like a JJ McCarthy thing, but we got to give him at least another month here to see what he's got. And he seems to get a little better. So just to wait and see on him. But then, just a small trade, if anything, is all I'm thinking.
Yeah, just add around the margins. That's kind of where you're at, unless something obviously big happens with an injury or something like that. But even in that scenario, you're not trading these guys. Like, dude, stop adding Jaden to any of these trade offers, especially like now we're seeing the offensive side averaging 18.5 a game so far. Nah, man.
Yeah, it's got to be a Godfather deal for Jaden to be moved at this point.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we were talking about last night. We're like, if you're telling me Giannis, all right, now I'm listening.
Okay, yeah, right.
But Ja Morant, no thanks. I wouldn't even straight up those two. I'm like, nah, I don't even think so. We got another comment here. He's saying DiVincenzo can find another place. Hey, I've been there. I've been there too. The thing about Dante that worries me is he's a tough sell against the Thunder, especially like you go back to that game against Portland. But if you're like, hey, let Ant bring the ball up, maybe it'll work out. But man, he was a turnover machine in that Thunder series last year, which is
what Ja would be too.
Everybody was, right? So it's like, I don't know that it like singling Dante out for that, but like, man, his turnovers are just, they look like they're worth more than one. And they're pick sixes. Like they go to the house for like layups the other way. Like that game against Portland, just like loses his dribble at half court. It's like, all right, here we go. But yeah, if there is a trade cooking, like Dante's getting thrown in there, I think, as like a $10 million, we got to throw in some money salary wise. And he's appealing enough to wherever he's going that I think it would, help facilitate the deal. But
yeah, and any of these trades too, it's all comes down. I think Hags, you were saying it when we were one of the last 2 nights was does it help us beat Oklahoma City? Because that's what matters right now. That's what you got to build your team for. They're the champs. You want to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. So That's priority number one. Is how do we look against them now? We could beat
Yeah.
most of the other teams in this league. It's just they're going to be tough though. They're really good.
I went and looked the other day at Ja's box scores. They played the Thunder in the first round last year. And
That's right.
they blew a huge lead in the game 3 at home in Memphis. And I think he got hurt on a play. Lou Dort,
Right.
salted his ass.
No
foul, I'm
I'm
sure.
pretty sure it was
Yeah.
clean. It might have been
It was
offensive on Ja.
But probably offensive, yeah.
But he was
Marginal.
he left injured, I believe, in that game. But the box scores were not pretty at all for him, right? So, and that's OKC for you, right? They're gonna play good defense, and then they played OKC Sunday night while we were waiting in between, football and the Wolves playing the Kings. So I was checking some of that. He just didn't look really interested at all. I mean, it was just kind of, if you're paying a high price to bring him in, it's just, there's just other, like if we're making a trade, I'm looking elsewhere, even if it is point guard. And we went through some of them last week too. So, all right, we'll end the pod with my shout out. I don't know if you guys saw this in the news, but our former left tackle, Matt Khalil, did you guys catch any of this?
I know where this is headed.
He was outed. He was outed last week as having a monster hog between his legs. And I just kind of found that to be a little bit surprising. And maybe that'll explain why he was just kind of mid, right? Like, when did we take? Was he a top 5 pick?
He was 4th overall. Yeah.
4th overall. I don't know that you'd put him as a bust, although I think he's getting offered to make a bust of said hog. But maybe that was weighing him down, getting a little slow off the line, or who knows. But just seeing that, and then all of a sudden the other day, that's just like all over my feed. I'm like, why is this? Or you see it like his name trending innocently. You're like, oh, what's this about? And you're like,
what's going on here?
What the fuck is this? Too
Yeah,
big a
sorry.
dick, and you had to get divorced because of it.
Sorry you had to get a
tough,
divorce, and
man.
you're going through all this, man. I hate it, but also congratulations.
Congrats and sorry. I don't know, but all these old Vikes being in the news. How about that? I just had to mention that on the pod.
Oh yeah, this is why you stick around for the shout outs.
Yeah, everybody. I'm seeing the numbers are just probably plummeting, and don't sue us, or I don't know. Don't report us to Elon, or
do what you got to do.
I've been suspended enough on X over the years, arguing with these sirs. So get ready. I feel like it's been a little quiet in our battle with the sirs in the last couple of weeks. We haven't really. I think even on the Vikes game on Sunday, was it Roquan Smith who had an interception overturned in our favor? And you're like, whoa, what's this? I thought we could never have one of those go our way anymore. Like, it's been a weekly occurrence. So
they're just gearing up.
I know.
It feels like for the Wolves, it's the Nets game. We shot 60 free throws, and we're shooting a lot of free throws against the Jazz in the third quarter last night. It's like, they're just making the numbers look good until we play Oklahoma City in a couple weeks here. Yeah, that night before Thanksgiving, and then I can just bitch and moan at the Thanksgiving table on Thursday about these sirs to like my grandma who can't even hear.
Nieces and nephews.
I'll just be bitching about Scott Foster to my grandpa who's just asleep in a chair. Fun times. All right, guys, good pod. No games until Friday, I think. The nice little break. Jim Peterson was talking about that last night, where it's like, shit, like I'd rather not play Denver on a back-to-back if we could have, played Thursday, Saturday, but hey, cup play on a Friday. That's takes priority. So prestigious cup. Can't be moving that around. So, all right, gang, thanks for tuning in. Elite Goku 087. Appreciate all the comments. I would just hold the fort on Dante for now, but I feel your pain. There's been many a time last year where I was ready to just kill that dude. So I feel you. All right. Peace, everybody. Take it easy out there. Late trip.